So welcome to the Ecom Leaders Podcast, Mina. Elias, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Elias, whatever.
Elias. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Awesome. And then I know on Instagram, the Egyptian prescription.
That's it. That's my fight name.
And is that because you're from Egypt or in that area, right? Because you're not actually from Egypt, no?
I am from Egypt. Yeah,
You're
I was
from
born
Egypt.
there. Yeah, my
Okay,
parents
you're
are
born
from
in
there.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And how is it? I mean, it's just curious, and we're starting. It's all about e-commerce and whatnot, but I'm kind of just curious about that area. I was just talking to my daughter this morning about like pyramids and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, like how is it like over there? Is it fully, industrialized,
awesome,
and that's or you see a lot of that stuff you would see kind of in TV or whatnot?
No, TV stuff is bullshit. Everyone's living life. Everyone's enjoying life over there. It's good. Everything is good there. Tourism is kicking back. I mean, obviously, COVID kind of hit everything, but it's good. It's not bad. It's like not, but it's like a third world country. So if you go into certain areas, you will it's like if you go into Compton, or something like it. It's the same thing, right? Like you don't want to be in a place where something might happen. And the cops there aren't on top of things as much as like in other countries type thing, so yeah, just stay away from the bad spots and you should be fine.
That's right. And even better, make your own Amazon business, get out of there and make your living and your life in the US. What about that?
Come to LA, where dreams come true.
That's right. That's amazing. So, man, I wanted to have you on because I've heard a little bit of your story and I really wanted to share it with my audience, which is like, listen, I mean, if you can just go over with you growing up and kind of the life that you had growing up and how that led you to where you are.
Yeah, so okay, I was born in Egypt, grew up in Dubai, and Dubai was nice for a while growing up because it was like, dude, it's crazy. It's only like 45 years old or whatever, so the whole country. So it's like everything. Yeah, it's a very young country. So it's like no, I'm 45 years old. The country's
no, for sure. I know, no. I mean, yeah. Dubai.
Yeah. Dubai's like 45 years old. And so it's like everything there is brand new. Like, it hasn't even had time to like wear down. So everything is like glass buildings, skyscrapers. Like you would just go somewhere to chill, right? Just like not spend $1, just sit down somewhere and you could go like something that is fancier than the fanciest hotel in Beverly Hills, and sit down, on like the pool overlooking the sea, like, just because there's so many of them that it's like, no one cares about like charging money or anything because it's an abundance of like fancy stuff there. Growing up, it was amazing. My dad was doing good up until like, I think I was 10 or 12, and then he lost his job. And unfortunately, he never bounced back. He doesn't have the same like drive, like, and relentlessness that I have. And so he kind of was trying to like find an easy way of like not having to start again. Like not like, he not doing
the work,
got
maybe
really high. Huh?
Not doing the work.
Yeah, he got really high and he fell down and he wasn't willing to start back up from the bottom, build back up. As like me, I would do it 1,000 times over. I'll just never stop, and I'll just keep getting better. And so, that kind of like made a good situation really bad because in the grand scheme of things, if you look at it objectively, my life was amazing. Obviously, I had a roof over my head. I had food, all this stuff. But growing up, man, when you're all surrounded, like you're a kid, okay, you're not an adult. You don't have this same brain. And when you're a kid and you're surrounded by your friends and they all have stuff and you don't have anything, it kind of like, and when I say I don't have anything, I just like, all I had is a house. I had like I couldn't buy like a nice bag. I had to buy like the cheap bags, the rip-off bags. I couldn't buy like nice shoes. I had to buy the rip-off shoes. So it's like you're in a materialistic country where everyone has a lot of money. And then everyone's comparing, it's like, oh, I got this new Nokia phone. I got this new, when Nokia was a thing. Yeah. I got this new thing. I got that new thing. And my phone is now touchscreen. And you don't have anything. And you're like, all your clothes are like, kind of like the cheap stuff. They're the clearance rack stuff. And so again, like if objectively you took me and you compared me with someone in like Egypt who's not doing that well off, I'm like, dude, wow, I'm way, way better.
Yeah, you live in the life.
yeah, I'm living the life, even though I didn't have anything. But because I was a kid, and you're constantly like just comparing yourself to everyone around you, it was really hard, man. It took a toll on me. And so that's why, like, even now, like, I have always this sense of like, I need more. And it's not even like materialistic stuff. I don't need more materialistic stuff. I just need more. Like, I have like this deep urge to always have like more, like always be more successful, always have like make more businesses, more money, and it's just like always coming back from the, growing up is like I had a lot and then it was all taken away from me, and then I was still in that same group of friends and their dads drove BMWs, and my dad drove like a Honda or whatever. They had nice phones and I had nothing, and it just kind of takes a toll on you. So that was kind of like growing up. And then I got to a point where it's like, okay, money isn't everything. And I got to a point where it's like, I can have fun without spending money, without needing money. And that was really good because it took me, if I had stayed in that same path of where I was when my dad was doing good, then I would have probably been a materialistic person right now. But I'm not. I'm a person who cares more about like experiences, and I'm happy with a little bit. I don't need a lot to be happy. And if you come and check out my like place, I'm very minimalist. Like I don't have anything. My sister came, stayed the week with me, and she's like, "Let me buy you stuff for the house." I said, "There's nothing. No one's allowed to buy anything for this house. Like I like it super minimal." So that was good, and kind of like a blessing.
Question. So what is your dad telling you throughout this? Is he like, hey, like, would you ask him like, hey, why don't we have money? Or like, hey, do I need to work? Or what was the conversations like, at home? Because I haven't been in that situation where like from up to down. So what is he telling you?
So, up until like, let's say when I was 15 years old, it was constantly like, hey, what's the deal with work? Oh, just wait. This next project is gonna make us like super rich. It was just that constant, like, oh, just wait. Like I'm working on something real big. And, later on, it took me until adulthood to realize that like, that was all like not true. And I love my dad. We have an amazing relationship. We're still close. Me and my parents are like a very family oriented person, but it's just like, it's cool. Like you need to realize at some point that like this person is not like, perfect. Like he just has his flaws, just like you have your flaws. And, after a while I realized, okay, dude, I've been hearing the same thing year after year. Just wait. This new project is going to kill it. Everything is going to take off. And again, like the whole problem was he just wanted to do like this home run, hit the lottery projects versus if he had just gotten a decent job worked up, he would have had way more money than if he hit the lotto once. Type thing. So, that's why I learned early on the silver bullet does not exist. There's no silver bullet in life. And I still get that like, tendency to like, oh man, like maybe if I get this email marketing guy and plug him in and he's going to do so good and I'm going to add like $50,000 a month revenue. And then I'm like, no, like step back. Like there is no silver bullet. It's going to be one brick at a time. It's going to be 1% every single day. And then over time, you're going to look back and look like you're an overnight success, but you're not. It's never going to be, you do that one thing and it hits a home run. So
yeah, and let me just comment on that. I fully agree with you. And I've seen a lot of guys who have success on Amazon and think that they're doing poorly. And I go, listen, if you have a product that's doing $50 profit a day, $100 profit a day, that's a humongous win. You are doing fantastic because all you got to do is you repeat that a few times. You could have a ton of money, but as long as you're tracking those numbers and seeing and doing that work and just building it, right? You don't need to have one product doing 10 million. You can have several doing 100,000, 50,000, whatever it is, and you'll be set.
100%. And I think that's kind of where I've been to with the businesses. When I first started, I was looking a lot at like Liquid IV and like those type, like, the big companies on it, whatever, Alpha Brain. And they all had
supplement brands companies. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yep.
Yeah. And those are all like, they have like one product doing like 150, 200,000, 300,000 a month. And I would look at that and be like, man, like I just want my product to do that. But you don't realize that that's not how like it got there. It's the it's like almost like an accumulation effect of they launched one and then the next and then the next and just kept growing it and growing it and growing it as the brand grew and as the reviews grew and all that kind of stuff. And as they figured out their systems and their business, everything kind of improved. And it wasn't like a overnight thing, or it wasn't like a, a home run or anything like that. So I learned that whole thing early on. But yeah, he was always telling me that. So right around 15 is when I started, saying, okay, I know I'm not going to get any money. And I barely
from him. Like
from my parents.
I mean, you're going to be on your own.
I'm on my own. Like, okay. I knew, like, obviously they did give me money, but it was like little, like tiny amount. Like maybe I could have a meal here, a meal there outside. Not that I was deprived, because I anyways went to all like the cheap spots.
Right, you weren't in Egypt. You weren't around like extreme poverty.
Yeah. And I wasn't in extreme poverty. It's just like, I realized, okay, all of my friends can go and do all the fun stuff that they want to do. I'm just going to do my own thing. And I found other friends who were also happy with, a little bit, kind of like enjoyed the more simple things in life. And so
sure.
That's when I started like flipping books. I would wait till the end of the year. Everyone would leave their books in class, and I would just like go and collect them all and go to the bookstores and stuff and start selling them. And I would
snap. Okay.
Yeah,
so
because
you got a head start there in flipping stuff. Retail arbitrage kind of there. Okay.
It worked for a little bit. I think a little bit before that also, I was in Egypt, and jawbreakers apparently were like a massive thing in my school. And I was able to buy like jawbreakers for like 20 cents in Egypt, and then sell them. And I would unpack them and put them in like these baggies, so no one knew that they were from Egypt, because I told them they were from Canada. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And I would pack them in these baggies, and I would sell them. I think I would buy them for 20 cents, sell them for like $3. And so,
wow, it's pretty good return on investment right there.
Yeah. But, quickly you realize it's like not scalable, because, how much can I pack my bag with jawbreakers? So I pack it a lot. And then my grandma really supported that idea. And so she would buy me a ton of jawbreakers. She said, yeah, go flip them. And I would go back to like Dubai, like to school, and I would flip them. And then that was over. So, and then I realized
you could have done that many trips. I mean,
no, it was like one trip a year, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's okay, but fine. You got a mini home run.
Yeah. So that would make me enough money to last me like a few months at least of spending money. So, a few things like that. And then I went to college, right? And I knew that I had to get out of there. I knew I had to get a higher education somewhere, whether it was Canada or the US, something like, reputable. Got really good grades, graduated very high in my class. Then I ended up in Connecticut on the East Coast. That happened because I was supposed to go to University of Toronto, because it was like a really good chemical engineering school, but my visa was rejected. So kind of was desperate, and Connecticut was the only place that accepted me. So I kind of just came. I thought all of the US was the same. And I was like,
your ticket to the U.S., but you didn't really realize what Connecticut was versus,
No, I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to America, and you don't realize like America's not all like nice, like LA is nice, but anyways, so I show up, I get my bachelor's degree, I graduate top of my class, and then I start working these jobs, and literally my first job out of school was like $35K a year. As like in a chemical safety analysis.
And this
job.
is after, right? You paid for school, or you have student loans now, or what?
How did you... I have like 80, or had 80K in student loans.
So you get a bunch of student loans. You study and don't work for how long? Like 4 years, 3 years? How long?
I was working throughout all of the years. I was I was a tutor and a teaching assistant, and I even worked as a pizza boy for some time, just because I needed the money, because where else am I going to get the money? I'm taking student loans to pay for like kind of my tuition and housing and stuff. But where am I like getting my spending money to go out? So I kind of always worked a job, whether it was.
That's good. You have to support yourself because you were in the country by yourself, right?
Yeah, it was all me. There was no one here, didn't know anyone. And so I had to kind of figure everything out as I went on my own here. So then
I think it's very usual, guys, like going to college and then leaving, right, with, $80,000 in student debt, and then having, the skills that you learn besides like work, because at work you're going to learn stuff, but in school you only get a $35,000 a year job after studying for 4 years straight. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people are in that situation, and that's they're like, hey, you need to get out, because that's a kind of crappy situation, man. If I sold somebody an $80,000 Amazon course and they were only going to make 35,000 for 10 years, I'll probably go to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
But that should be how it is, but unfortunately it's not. And let's not fully blame the schools, because I was consciously signing those checks and those
Yeah,
student loans. So it's like, maybe I should have been like, dude, I'm not taking English or Western civilization classes at this school. I'm going to do it at a community college online and save that money. But you make the mistakes and you learn. So graduated, and again, I was not this level of hustler. I was, go on Indeed and LinkedIn and Monster and just click apply to like, 50 different jobs, and wow, pat myself on the back. Good job, Mina, for applying. Good job for applying to jobs. So, ended up with that job, and, was almost like depressed. There was two screens, kind of like the same screen setup I have now, except that I was in an office, no windows, working like literally 9 to 5 every single day. It was very, very like, depressing. Got out of there, went to another job. That one paid me a little bit more, and I was slowly like inching my way up. The reason I stayed at that first job is because I needed like, some paperwork done for like citizenship and stuff, but I never got it from them. So I was like, whatever, at this point, just cut my losses and leave. Yep. So went to this other one, and I realized that work can be actually fun, because I was working with my friend. And so it was fun, but then, that company, the CFO did some stuff, shut down, went to the last company. That last company was the reason I got into entrepreneurship. And it was because I went in there with 110% energy. I started from zero to managing $12 million in projects. Was excelling like no one they've ever seen before. Was tech savvy more than anyone they've ever seen before.
And this is doing your trade, right? Chemical engineering stuff, or
no? This actually ended up being project management in construction.
Okay.
So I was doing exceptionally well. And then
so again, just to make a comment, you studied all this stuff. You got a terrible job that was, full of like the worst, most depressing thing that you've had in your life from the career that you studied. Then you got a job totally unrelated to anything you studied. You were having fun and making more. Correct?
No. The second one, I was having fun just because I was working with my friend.
Okay.
And I was making more. The third one, I was making the most. I can't say that I was having too much fun, but it was decent. It was decent. And
your college didn't help you at all.
Zero. At all. Okay. And then so I show up to my boss's office, and like after like, dude, I made them so much money. I was crushing it for them. I was working 2 positions in one, and positions that you would pay 6 figures for. So I showed up and I said, hey, I just finished my master's. I have a master's in industrial engineering now. I've been really doing good. I started from there. Now I'm here. I would like an X amount of dollars raise. This is what my market value is. And this is, I believe I can make you more than what you would pay me. And they said, oh, I'm sorry. Like, we don't really care about your master's. We're going to pay you $2,000 more. And, so then I got slapped with like reality. Like, no one really cares about you. Like, they just look at you as like
I don't know about nobody, but maybe that employer. Let's put things in perspective, right?
Yeah, no, it's like employers really don't care about you. They just care about themselves, and they're just gonna squeeze you for whatever. But not all of them, but
I'm an employer too, bro.
I know, me too. I'm an employer too.
You know what I mean? Okay.
No, but see, my employees, like literally, the first thing I tell them is, I want to make sure that this is the best job you ever have in your life. I want you to come into work happy. So if there's anything that I can do to do that, let me know. And so, because I took everything that I hated in my old jobs and just like improved it. So the straw that broke the horse's back. It was like noon on like a weekday, and it started to snow. And so I was driving. I was like, okay, I got to get out of here, not get caught in the snow. And I was driving back windy roads because the office was like in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut. And, I was driving like 10 miles an hour in the snow. It was a windy road. The car slipped.
This is after you had that conversation with the boss.
With the boss. Okay. Yeah, it was even further along after that. Okay, my car crashed. And I'm like, oh, man, bumper broken, headlight broken. Drove home. texted my boss, said, hey, I was in a crash. Everything is good. I was only driving 10 miles an hour, but I'm going to need to just get something unjammed from the wheel so I can drive to work tomorrow. And then I'll fix it on the weekend. She said, it's cool. Glad you're okay. You're on your own time tomorrow. Basically saying she's going to take it out of personal time. Yeah. Personal time off tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, like this is slavery.
They were building. Kept getting hits.
And I was, that's it. That was like kind of like the breaking point. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to get out of this shithole. So, luckily, you know, this was like a little bit after the time where I had gone on vacation and to Egypt. And right before that, I was starting to hate work. And it was after that conversation of like, you know, your mass doesn't matter, all this stuff. And I was listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. And so I started like, oh, the 9 to 5 is a scam, all this stuff. And it got me thinking. And so when I was in Egypt with my parents, my dad was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking up supplements. And he said, why don't you make your own? You know, you're smart. Aren't you a chemical engineer? Why don't you make your own? And I said, you know, I couldn't make my own. I'm already like mixing a bunch of, because I'm like addicted to supplements. So I, like, if you see my supplement cabinet is packed and I'm always mixing stuff and testing stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I could probably do it. And he's like, yeah, why don't you see if it can work? So I did like quick number crunching and I said, okay, bulk ingredients, you know, cost this much, bags cost this much, labels this much, okay. You know, I can make it for $6 and on Amazon sells for 25, 26.
Oh,
that's it. And obviously not taking into account any of the Amazon fees or
sure.
Whatever.
You did a basic calculation, right? Uninformed calculation, which is what I did when I got started. So, I mean, you don't know why I have all this stuff, but you're just like, hey, if it sells for 5 times more, then you should be okay. You should have some money.
Yeah. And it was like someone who didn't know anything about business. Like as an engineer, I was stellar. A business guy, didn't know anything about business, didn't know numbers, didn't know anything. And so I said, okay, it seems like that jawbreaker situation where I'm buying it for 20 cents, selling it for $3. So no brainer, right? So ordered the stuff, you know, came back from vacation. This was around October or end of September 2018. Ordered the stuff to my place, mixed it up, tried it. I felt like it was good. Gave it to some friends, said, hey, you know, this company trusted me with their samples. No one has access to this stuff yet. Okay, cool. Because at that point, like I was an MMA fighter and I was hitting up brands and saying, hey, like, you know, can you sponsor me, blah, blah, blah. Like send me some of your free products. And they were all sending me free products. So my friends knew that I was getting like free products. So
okay.
So
you snuck it in there.
I snuck it in there and they're like, wow, man, this stuff really actually works. And I'm like, oh, okay, amazing. You know, I'm onto something because I didn't want to use my biased opinion. So I used, you know, some test subjects. And so I incorporated October 10th, 2018, posted on Facebook. And I said, hey guys, you know, officially have my own company, you know, supplement company. And this guy hits me up. He says, yo, heard you have a supplement company. I have an MMA event November 2nd. Come there, bring a banner. I'll get you a booth for free. So it's like, oh man, I have 3 weeks. So I, you know, just order everything, mix stuff at home, stick labels on, you know, hit up a friend from school who is a graphic designer. Please help me make. And I made the ugliest label and everything. I didn't know anything. And
my first product, I had no label. So it's okay.
Yeah. I was like, dude, whatever. I was winging it. And so went to the event with 40 products, sold 25. And so I was like, okay, you know, that's not bad. Better than I expected. Obviously, deep down, I wanted to sell all 40. But I was like, okay, you know, 25 is better than nothing. And everyone kept asking me, where can I find your products? And I said, oh, it's going to be on Amazon soon. Just because like
you already think about the profit margin on Amazon, right? Because when you looked it up, you already did the calculation.
No, but more than that, all my supplements, I bought them from Amazon. So, you know, if I'm buying everything from Amazon, you know, I'm not going to tell them, oh, I'm going to check out GNC. I'm going to check, and I was like, okay, I buy everything from Amazon. So it's going to be on Amazon soon. And I didn't know anything about Amazon. Didn't even know if you could sell on Amazon. I thought Amazon owned all of those brands or something, you know? And so I called next day, call Seller Central. I'm like, hey, how do I sell on your platform? I have supplements. And like they walked me through. They're like, okay, open an account. Cool. Okay. Do you have a business? Yeah, I have a business. Here's my LLC. Here's my IN. Okay, cool. Opened up an account. And then from there, they said, okay, go here, ungate yourself. And I thought ungating, I started reading in the forums, and I don't know why people were saying ungating in supplements costs $3,000, but it scared me. But I was like, let me see if I can get away without paying the $3,000. And so, I call Amazon, and they're like, yeah, no, you don't need to pay any money or anything. You just need to send us like invoice and certificate of analysis and stuff. And I was like, oh, easy. Got the invoice, got the certificate of analysis, sent it to them. And I got the invoice because I wasn't making the stuff, right? So I got the invoice from a manufacturer. I told him, just give me an invoice. He sent me an invoice, and I just sent that.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a real invoice or anything. And so got approved. And then I was like, okay, now I got to figure this out. So basically what I did was I went to another electrolyte powder listing, and I ripped off, not ripped off, but I basically said, okay, what are the words that they're using? I'm going to use all similar ones. What's their title? I'm going to use a similar one. What are their images? I'm going to go to like Fiverr and get like similar ones done. And so, dude, the funniest thing though, the funniest thing though is on Amazon. If you go way back, my listing, 3 out of like the 8 images, it was like me standing holding the product, a girl that I knew in the bathroom of a gym with the product. And it was like, I remember like a friend who was like in the Amazon game was looking at it. He's like, dude, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen someone put himself in his Amazon listing. And I said, I guess there's a first time for everything, And so I was just kind of like winging it as I went. And then from there is like when I did the deep dive into, okay, how do I make this stuff move on Amazon? And I came in with the best price point. I came in with a really good product. So just to go a little bit back, I didn't just make up the product because I thought it was going to make money. I was on keto. I'm an MMA fighter, and I was sweating a ton, and I needed electrolytes. And I looked at everything on the market. Everything was bad. So I came up with a new formula that was high sodium, high potassium, high magnesium, had taurine in it, which is also a performance enhancer. And so it was a combination of things that really made it made a really good electrolyte.
You had already made it for yourself.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And so did that, and then and I listed it at the lowest price point. So I was $20. Everyone else was more than 20. And so then I realized, okay, reviews. I need to get reviews. Everyone is like, it's all about reviews because I don't buy anything that has low reviews. So just started going hardcore, hitting people up. Like I knew a lot of people. I knew everyone in Connecticut who ever did jiu-jitsu or anything related to MMA. So I was hitting every single person up. I went on my Facebook, literally on my Facebook, hit up every single person I had on my Facebook in the United States. I said, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. I have like this supplement. I'll give it to you for free. Just give me your Venmo. I'll send you the money right now. And just like nonstop. And if you think about it, it didn't take that long to do every single day, but I was doing it consistently. And eventually, like I was able to get like 30, 50, 100, 150 reviews. And as that went up, my PPC started becoming way more effective because I could always see my unit session percentage, and I could see, okay, my sessions are growing, but my unit session percentage is low. So it's always it's not converting. And then as I increased my reviews, my unit session percentage just started going up and up. And unit session percentage is conversion rate for the people, who don't know.
It's Amazon's way to say conversion rate. And also they double count for if you buy multiple units.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And so, pretty much just
as your reviews went up, the thing started going and like it started taking off.
Yeah. And then from there, I went to this event. Do you know Tenuity?
Yeah.
So I went to, it was called Ad NYC. They had Ad Diego and stuff. I went to Ad NYC, and it was like, this conference was all like big brands, One Bar, Starkist Tuna, Under Armour, I think was there, like obviously employees there and stuff. But it was a lot of like big business, a lot of people crushing it. I was still like a nobody. And I went in there and I started talking to people, and I just more and more made me realize, dude, these people don't have anything special. Yeah. Like their product's not special. They're not special. They're not smarter than me. And like that, I think I still have the tag from that conference, because that was like the biggest, it was a turning point in my life. It was like the biggest kind of like booster, like, hey man, you can do this. And up until then, I really didn't believe in myself because I was just starting a project I didn't know anything about. And then I was on Amazon, and Amazon is a struggle. And yeah, like I was getting reviews and I was making money, but it wasn't really like net profit that much. But then after that, it was like, I got this. And so I went hardcore into PPC.
And this is what, this is end of 2018?
This was March 2019.
Okay, March 2019.
So November 22, 2018 is when I launched. I think March 2nd or whatever, 2019 is when this happened. So between then and then, I had like learned a lot about Amazon. And then once I went to that, I literally like sat down with every single person who's knowledgeable at that conference and sucked the information out of them. I had like a notebook and I was like writing. It just took so much notes, networked with every single person there. Like I was like very ruthless. Like I was just going to people, be like, hey, what's up? My name is Mina. Let's talk. And like, I would just like get the information, obviously in a nicer way, but I would get the information out of them.
Hey, what's up? I got this company. Hey, what do you think about this?
And I wouldn't never even talk about myself. Like I was always asking them like, oh, what do you do? Oh, that's amazing. Tell me more. Oh, how did you do this? And just like, basically I was interviewing people, just to get knowledge. Oh, how are you doing reviews? How are you doing PPC? How are you doing this? How are you doing that? And then the people from Tenuity, they were like the PPC guys, they knew how to run PPC for brands. So I would be like, hey man, like tell me exactly what you do to run PPC for brand. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Is this correct? Is that correct? And then just asked. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, dude, I got this. Like, I don't need any more, information than I already have. I just need like execution. And so
did you learn actually a lot from them? Like, were there specific things you learned from these guys, or pretty much you, or no? Like, what did you?
I mean, it kind of refined what I already knew. They didn't teach me anything that I was like, whoa, It was like, this is what they had. They had, okay, for listing images, they had a really good graphic designer. For keyword research, they just actually fully did the keyword research and then had a good, nice copywriter and told them what to do in the copywriter. And, so it's like, they just had more resources and a more structured way of doing things, but they were not doing anything out of the norm that I didn't know, with getting reviews. Again, I thought like maybe there's like the secret method, but it's like, no, it's like, they're just going through the motions. They're getting reviews from everyone they can possibly can. There's no secret to it. There's no trick to it. And so, at that point I was like, okay, like these guys just are refined. They're like,
they have a business in place. There's an organization, but the actual activity, the actual doing this, the actual, what do you do to get it? There's not doing anything particularly special. There's not some super magic sauce at the next level. So you go, hey, I could do this, right? Is that?
Yeah, exactly. And that feeling was better than any other feeling, because it was like, at that point, it's like, you realize you're not missing anything. You're just as good. You're just as capable. Now just go and do it, and do it more and more and more. And so, went home. I was like super pumped. And then from there, it took me 2 months to get to about 5,000 a month in net profit. So March to end of April, I was doing 5,000 a month net profit. And at that point, I think my job definitely realized that I didn't care about them anymore. And I got I was planning to quit end of May, but end of April, they let me go. So they let me go, and it was like, oh man, like it was this weird feeling, because it's like, I lost my job. I need to find, especially me being like an immigrant and fully depending on myself for paying everything. I don't have a parent's home I can stay at. So it's like, I need to pay my rent. So for me, it's always like, where's my next job? Where's my next job if I get fired, or if I quit a job? So now it was like this weird, where I have all this time, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to take the risk on myself. So took the risk on myself, started going full force with, like Amazon, like doing everything I can, continuously learning. And then I was like, okay, let me sacrifice a little bit. And so from June to November, I went to Egypt to cut down my costs. And I said, that's going to be the best way for me to like cut down my costs. I'll go back home. Anyways, it's going to be nice to see my parents, because I only see them like a few weeks a year. So it's going to be nice to spend a lot of time with them and my grandparents and family and everything. And then after that is like, hopefully by then I'm good. And so did that. And then by November, I was making 10,000 a month in profit. And I was like, okay, I'm set. I'm all set. And obviously, like, 10,000 a month after taxes.
Yeah, and quickly, and then just to recap, everybody, Mina, you went from zero online money, no online experience at all, basically. Started selling on Amazon November 2018. By April, May, you're making $60,000 a year. And then by November, so 1 year into Amazon, you're already a six-figure profit earner. So from nothing, immigrant, college, debt, all the whole deal, going from nothing to making over 600,000, I'm sorry, over six figures. So $100,000 in profit a year in 12 months from starting from absolutely zero, nothing, no branding experience, no marketing experience, literally nothing. Is that right?
Absolutely. And
that's fantastic. I mean, that's like, if that's not
and I made every single mistake, but the thing is, I made every single mistake in the book. I got bad images, I got bad graphic designers, used Fiverr, fell for the people who were like trying to con you for coaching. Luckily, I never paid anyone, but I kind of like fell into their like little traps, like, oh, like, let's have like a chat, and then we have a chat. Oh, was this useful? I can mentor you. Okay, how much is oh, it's like $1,000 a month recurring, and you'll have access to. And it was like a lot of like these scammers.
Where did you meet these guys? You were going to a lot of events?
All on the Facebook groups.
Oh, Facebook groups. Okay.
Yeah. And so and it was kind of like I made all the mistakes. Okay, so the reason I feel like I'm ahead of a lot of people who have been in this in the game as long as I have, is because I'm like going so much faster, and I'm making so many more mistakes, and I'm learning so much faster. And so I'm not afraid of making mistakes. I'm not afraid of like quote unquote failing or anything like that. I'm all about it. I'm like, sure, because if I do it, I'm gonna know one thing for sure: if it does work or if it doesn't work.
Yep.
I'm not gonna sit and think and speculate and all the possibilities, because while you're thinking about the possibilities, I already did it, and I already know the actual answer. And so that's kind of my mindset going into that. And so I made like a lot of like these mistakes, bumped into the wall, but eventually I started getting my footing. One thing that I did run into though, right around August, so that period when I was in Egypt, and we're talking 2019, so like over a year ago, and I went for a month to Dubai, and just so I could see my friends and stuff growing up. And during that period, I was very into shiny object syndrome mode, where it was like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, influencer marketing, like Google AdWords and Google Shopping ad, and it was so many shiny objects, and I was getting distracted so much. And when I went to Dubai, I was listening to this book. I always have to be reading a book every single day. I have to read a book, or like one book, and I was listening to The One Thing, and like the number one takeaway from the book is like every day ask yourself, what is the one thing if I do now, it'll make everything that I'm working on better. And to me, it was like, dude, my money's coming from Amazon. It's not coming from my Shopify store. It's not coming from my Facebook ads. It's coming from Amazon. And what makes Amazon better? Reviews. So double down, went hardcore, and like just went really hard on reviews. And I saw my sales just go up. Wow. And I think I went from doing like 30-ish thousand a year, 30-ish thousand a month in revenue to like 48 over like 1 month, over a period of like a month and a half, just because, I jumped my reviews like by 200 reviews or something. And so it was really like, okay, now I got it. Stop thinking, yes, someone's killing it on Facebook ads. Someone's killing it on Instagram. Someone's killing it in influencer marketing. Someone's killing it on Shopify. Someone's killing it on Google ads. But why don't you just do what you know and like double down and kill it on what you're really good at? Yep. And so that's what I ended up doing, is like, okay, I'm now all in the Amazon game. Because always I was like, people are like, oh, Mina, like, what if Amazon kicks you off? I'm like, oh, you know what? If Amazon kicks me off, I'm going to use one of my other accounts, hijack my own listings, continue to sell. I don't care. I think I'm not ready for this? I'm ready for this. Like, let them shut me down. I'm no longer, I'm like, dude, what if the United States of America shuts
Exactly,
down?
right? What if the bomb goes off? Like,
Exactly.
you can't live in fear. And Amazon, in fact, if you're, if you're listening to this or whatever, you're making your primary money on Amazon, keep doing it. Do more of it.
Yeah.
And my thing, the way that I had a similar thing just to share with you. Mine wasn't so much reviews, but it was I was doing a lot of optimization on the products, and the sales barely moved. And I switched the whole thing, and the change was add more products.
Yeah. That's it.
Products was a freaking game changer. Because look, anybody, if you get to thousands or even hundreds of products, and each of them are profitable, you're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah. Even if you're doing $1,000 a month in profit with one product, just do that with 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, 50, and now you're at 50,000 a month in profit. It's exactly. and so that was kind of the turning point for me. I was like, dude, enough with the like you looking at other brands trying to get their success, make your own success. And so that was like the biggest turning point for me. Then I moved to LA December 1st. And ever since I moved to LA, the game completely changed. I like 10x'd my business because I was in the perfect like incubator for growing. And I'm surrounded by super successful people. There's so many Amazon sellers here. And I'm no longer like, I eliminated all of like the clutter in my life. Anyone that wasn't like killing it or had the right mindset or anything, I just got rid of that and really optimized my life. I was in a much better state of mind because, the weather is good. Everything is good. There's a lot of fun going on. And so, then it just became, okay, I'm going to network more. I'm going to learn more, but it just became a game of, let me just keep repeating what I'm doing, systemizing it, hiring employees. Now I have 8 employees and everything is
overseas?
a system.
You have any US or is all overseas?
2 in the Philippines. The rest are Eastern Europe, Moldova, Romania, Ukraine. Yeah.
How did you hire guys there? Is that from your Egypt connection or how did you get guys?
No. So there's a place called jobrack.eu. I created a listing and I have like a whole video on this, but basically like I said, this is
it on your Instagram or something. I need to check it out. I want some people from there.
Yeah, no. And basically like, it's like a little bit of like a mini test. And I'm like, okay, if you want to work for me, if you want to do this job, say, I want to work for you. And then owner of, let's say like, Quest Nutrition. But obviously I do a smaller company, so they actually have to do some digging. And then that immediately eliminates like all the, scammer, like not scammer, like the spammer people. And then I asked them a couple questions just to qualify how good their English is and like, a couple things about them. Then from there, I give them a big test, and that test needs to be screen recorded. And just if someone goes through the test and I watch the screen recording, like this, I can tell if they're good or bad. And so usually I only get 3 or 4 tests. I go through the screen recording. I look at how much effort they put in, how resourceful.
They're recording it or are you using a software?
No, they're recording it. I tell them you can use.
Record it and send me your recording. You tell them.
Exactly. I tell them use OBS screen recorder. It's free. Record everything that you do from the second that you start the test to the second that you end the test. And I just want to see how you think. And it's like them, I'm like, okay, like, I want you to go find me 3 pictures of athletes that's royalty free. And I want you to find me 3 captions that go along with them and explain why. And, they would be like, okay, like royalty free athletes on Google. And like, they'd look, things like that. And so, and if they have like a good mind and they think clearly in a good way, I know that I can make them really good because I have all the SOPs, all the standard operating procedures, all the training videos, everything. I don't need you to know how to do things. Right. I just need to know that your brain, you have the mental aptitude, and then from there, I'm going to teach you everything.
Wow, nice. So you have 8 staff now. And so
yeah,
we talked a little bit before this and clearly at one point you decided that you wanted to branch out and add brands or add products. And obviously we're not going to go into what those are, but what was your decision? So you had, you have your MMA nutrition brand, right? Hydrolite. And then you wanted like, hey, let me build out more. Why did you do that instead of add products, let's say, to MMA nutrition?
Okay. So with MMA nutrition, I'm working on adding more, and I did add more, but MMA nutrition is kind of like, it's just the athlete niche. Now, I was approached by someone who pitched me really hard. He said, hey man, like there's this women's niche we can go after. It's a very like unique product in the women's niche. And he said, I think there's a lot of potential. Let's do it. I was young. I didn't know much. And so when
it was like a year ago.
yeah, it was about a year and 3 months ago.
Okay.
And I didn't know much. I was like, you know what? Okay, sure, let's give it a try. So that's how the second one came along. And then after like working with a partner for a while and like understanding, like, you know, it wasn't the best decision, but I now understand the power of partners if they're the right ones. And so then I approached another guy that I knew had a really like specific skill set that could make a product go well. And so we launched another brand, and that brand is like a, you know, it's not gonna, it's a different demographic than Hydrolyte. And so I did that because if you think about it, I'm using my same systems, I'm using my same staff, my same employees, everything, and I'm having someone like complement that and add his own efforts with his team or whatever, his or her team. And so I did that, you know, 2 more times. And so for me, it was like, okay, I already have the supply chain down. I already have formulations down. I already have like all of my PPC and my graphic design and everything. That I have all that's the Amazon kind of game down. And then I just go with these other people and I do the same thing. So yeah, I could do another product, another Hydrolyte product, or like a you know, maybe because I'm doing an Energizer one, like coming out in 2 weeks, doing a recovery one. So I said I could do another one, but what about like if I did, like, let's see if I did another one with a partner, because I would be doing the exact same thing, but having like yeah, exactly. And so, you know, I did that and that worked out amazing because now I'm not doing anything different. I'm not even, it's zero added, you know, time for me. It's zero. It's like I'm doing the same thing that I'm always doing. My team is doing most of the work. I'm just reviewing a lot of the stuff. Obviously, with certain things like formulations and stuff like that, I do that. And maybe when we're coming up with the initial design for the entire brand, you know, I'm involved in that. But after that, it's like everything else the team can handle. And then I'm like, okay, let me just do that with more partners, you know, and get to a point where it's like, you know, it doesn't matter like that I'm only getting half the money. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm getting like, you know, double the work, which is usually more, you know, if you're doing it with the right person who's complementary, you know, you're going to get like a synergistic effect.
Yeah. And I know several people who have partnerships on building Amazon brands. And I think it is something to discuss and talk about because, for example, you have a person who's doing supply chain and then you do the sales, or vice versa, or, you know,
and it's very tricky.
Complementary stuff.
Yeah, it's very tricky because there's no right answer because you're dealing with people. So, you know, it might work amazing with one partner, but it might not work so well with another partner. So you never really know. And you know, at this point, I would consider it's still in the trial phase. We're successful, we're profitable, the businesses are growing and all that stuff. But I haven't gotten to a point where I can say, yeah, okay, I did this business with a partner and I sold it for a lot of money because, you know, the initial investment is usually like 10 grand. And then even if I sell it for 400,000 or 500,000, that's like a big win.
That's definitely a big win.
Yeah.
That's the kind of money that a lot of people never see in one time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for me, you know, I'm trying these different things out because again, you know, I'm the kind of person who will never, I'm not going to think and analyze so much. Like I already know kind of a little bit of the facts. I'm like, let me just try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like now I know. And so, you know, I'm obviously a little bit more selective because it, you know, it takes my time and effort.
It's super important. I mean, it's more important to select the right partner than select the right product. Because the right product, you just discontinue and get the next one, right? With a partner,
exactly.
You're gonna, you know, kind of marry it a little bit.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so a couple quick questions, just rapid fire here. So, and I know we discussed a little bit of this, but how much was your first investment starting on Amazon? What was your initial cost?
$500. So it was 100 units. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So you started with $500. How long did it take you to make enough money? Well, I guess, you know, you didn't quit your job. I guess you kind of got laid off, but that's
6 months.
6 months. So, $500 to start, 6 months to kind of get going on your own. And then this year, we discussed a little bit before, but this year, what do you think you'll do in revenue? Let's say across all your Amazon.
Probably, I want to say like a little bit over 1.5 million.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you're basically, I guess it depends how you want to take it, but you're basically now a millionaire. I sometimes
When I have $1 million in the bank, I'll be a
$1 million
millionaire.
company, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe, maybe you could probably sell it for maybe about $1 million or something like that, depending. That's the Amazon, multiples or whatnot.
Whatever.
But you're like close to like millionaire status. Took you less than 2 years, $500 starting period, quit your job in 6 months. That's freaking amazing. I think, man,
It's Amazon, man. Amazon is an insane opportunity.
yes, I agree.
You know?
I tell people it's a gold rush right now.
Yeah.
Back in 2018 when you got started, people were already saying, "Oh, it's too late to get into Amazon." People are saying that today. People are saying that in 2015. People are saying that. People are going to say that until the end of time. What do you have to say to somebody who, let's say, wants to get started now, and they're like, "Well, it's too late to sell on Amazon. There's already people with thousands and thousands of reviews."
What I would tell them is it's not about the product or where you're selling it or whatever. It's about you. Okay. If you took Elon Musk and you put him in a restaurant, or you put him in a soccer team, or you put him in whatever industry you want, we have no doubts, as a business owner, he's going to crush it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's because of where you're putting him, or because of him as a person? It's because of him as a person. And so it's not about Amazon, you timing it right. It's not about the product that you're selling. It's not about anything other than it's about you. So people need to take full accountability, understand your business is you. So if it's doing bad, it's because you're doing bad. You are bad. You're not improving your skills, and stop blaming, Amazon. Let's say I did get into Amazon late. Let's say right now Elon Musk starts a supplement company, okay, with $5,000 investment. I guarantee you he's going to crush it way more than I am, okay? And it's not because he got into Amazon the right time or anything. It's because of him as a person, as a businessman. And so stop thinking that it's about Amazon, or because let's say Amazon dies, you move on to the next thing, Walmart. Let's say Walmart dies, you go into whatever else is going on, physical retail, online retail, Whole Foods, I don't care, whatever it is, whatever you do, it's always going to be dependent on you as a person and not dependent on the business or the actual thing that you're selling. It's you're like the life force of your business. And so whatever your life force is, your business is going to extend, and the results are just going to show your true colors. That's all.
Absolutely brilliant. Amen, brother. I love that. It's so true. And on top of that, I do want to say, guys, Amazon, although yes, anywhere you go, you can be successful, but Amazon is so easy. It's ridiculous.
It is.
I tried several businesses before Amazon. I tried to become influencer. I tried to do website blogging, Google ranking. I failed miserably several times. And Amazon seemed to be just so ridiculous. And a startup cost $500. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I got 500.
You're like, come on.
No, and 500. I got 100 units. Started selling that. Put in what is it? I got another 400 units. So what is that? $2,000, right? And that sold. And once that sold out, I had enough money to buy 800 units. And so I think in the first couple months, I sold out 4 times. Because I was waiting for the Amazon payments so I can reinvest it, but it's whatever. And I had this guy that I started with, I had really good terms. It was 75% net 60 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. And I called my dad and I said, hey man, you have a manufacturing agreement? He said, yeah, let me send you one, because he has 1 million of those. He sent me one, and it just had those terms in there. And I sent it over. I changed everything, but I didn't look at the terms. And he said, and then he messaged me. They said, hey, 90-day terms are a little bit long. Can we do 60? I said, yeah, sure. And I called my dad. I was like, hey, what's 60? I said, hey, what's 60-day terms? He said, oh, that means that you pay 60 days after you get your products. I was like, wow, so it worked out. It worked out.
Wow, that is amazing. And so U.S. supplier, I really love this. And so, Mina, I really appreciate you being on here. And is there any last words you want to say to people potentially listening here? Obviously, you can say, where to find you. I definitely want to hear that, the website again, where to hire people. And you said you had a video. If that's online, please, where do we find that?
So yeah, the video's on Samer Brax's channel on YouTube. If you just say like $2 VA, Samer Brax, that should it's me and him in the video. Very controversial like headline, $2 VA,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
got a lot of people to watch it. You can find me on Facebook, Mina Elias, Mina space Elias. That's where I have like my business stuff. Like I post the business advice and stuff. Then on Instagram at Egyptian_prescription_Elias. That's where I post my fun life. And then that's where you can find me. If you have any questions, shoot me DM, text, or DM or a message. I usually answer. Final words. Okay. When you go into selling a product, please don't look at a product. Look to selling a solution to a problem that's better than everyone else's solution. Because when you look at it that way, it simplifies a lot of things, because you'll never end up with a bad product. Because if you create a solution to a problem that's going to add value to everyone's life, and there's demand, like obviously don't go and making something like a eyelash like plucker or something when no one plucks their eyelashes, like, but if you create something, a solution to a problem that people are in demand for, like, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need anything crazy. And then the last thing is, I always say this, and every time I talk, it's, you only fail if you quit. If you never quit, you'll never fail. And like, just always keep that advice. As long as you're never quitting, you will never fail. Things, might have like little obstacles in the way, just like, overcome them. But if you never quit, you'll never fail.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And then just to touch on that, I know people who have failed their first product, second product, third product, fourth product, they made it. I don't know anybody who's done 5 different products at different times and isn't making profit and making money on Amazon. I know nobody.
I know a guy who failed 10 products, and on the 11th he made it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
His name is Jack. Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Awesome, man. Well, it was amazing having you. Thanks, and see you next time.
All right, take it easy. Thank you.